Welcome back. Here we are, episode 6 of
So-
the PodBoys podcast. Wookiee, I put it to you. Come up with the topic. Haha, he's on the spot now.
This is going to be an interesting one. Yeah. You could have warned me that before you went to the bathroom.
I decided I'd just give it to you anyway. I'd throw it right in your head.
Oh dear Lord. Okay, I had an idea earlier and now I've gone blank trying to remember it.
You would.
Okay, let's do a cliche one for nerddom.
Uh-huh.
And I will even do the role against my own belief to swap it around.
So I'll take the opposite. Okay. Is it you're a positive or a negative? I'm the bad cop, am I? As they say.
This is not so much good cop and bad cop versus way A
Oh,
versus...
reality then. Middle area cop. Sort of semi-competent.
I'm gonna propose that consoles are better than PCs, even though I don't follow that. But I know you won't argue consoles very well.
Starters, consoles are far cheaper than computers. And
I've always had the opposite experience.
And as it's been informed to me, as I've seen, consoles are far superior because there's more stuff in them, more chips. So if they blow up, other chips take over. And with a good HD TV or plasma screen, you can get superior graphics to that of a computer system. And you can do all sorts of stuff like watch movies on a console and check your email and play video games. This was actually something someone told me once. Therefore, console is superior. And it's a better form of gaming because it's more relaxed and you can sort of sit there smoking a doobie, eating your own kneecaps or whatever it is smoker people do, and you can fiddle with those controllers and take a relaxed attitude towards gaming, hence the combat assistance and all the rest of it that makes your life easier.
Okay, fair enough. So we can do this. I will propose that pretty much all of those things you've said you can do on a computer anyway. Now, this is going to be a difficult one for each of us to be polar, and we kind of haven't followed that thing very well anyway, so I'm going to throw both arguments around. We will discuss the pros and cons.
Oh, what?
I know a very common, very genuine is that fan's supposed to be off.
Unfortunately, 3 of them have blown.
Oh wow.
I don't know, there's something to do with it. Well, there's the response. Thing about playboxes are superior because they don't have fans connected to cables connected to power supplies inside that suddenly go off, and then you end up with only 2 fans running the internals to keep the fucker cool.
Yeah.
Therefore, superior to computers which need all these fans that don't work.
The strength of a console is that, to me, the plug it in and it works.
Plug and play type.
Yeah. Whereas a computer, you can get a pre-built, but if you're a gamer, you generally want to put your own bits together to get what you want out of it.
I did.
And I do as well.
I got some hand-me-downs, and you get my hand-me-downs.
Yes, it's the great chain of hand-me-down.
Thank you, Lord Dark Elf. We love your money. You.
But where was I going with that? Yeah. But nowadays, especially even more than previously, you get gamepads for computers.
Mm-hmm.
So with a computer, if the game suits the gamepad, you can play with the gamepad. If it suits the mouse and keyboard, you can play with the mouse and keyboard. You get the flexibility of it. Granted, a console, you put the game in, that game will work on that console because it was designed for that hardware. Then you just put in the disc and you know it will work. Computers, you have to match up your specs and know that you might have to tweak graphic settings, you may have to upgrade. But then on the other hand, a computer is cheaper to upgrade than to buy an entirely new system because now all the games are for the new system.
And for computers, we can go on GOG. I don't think there's a PlayStation version of GOG.
No, there's literally... PlayStation has the PlayStation Store, Xbox has the Xbox Store, Nintendo has the Wii Store, I think,
Yeah.
which is each of them is like their thing's version of Steam.
Yes.
So yeah, we have the advantage of we have the advantage of mods. Consoles don't get mods, which can completely reinvigorate the entire gaming
I
experience.
think we saw that with Adele's play of Skyrim, with all the new stuff that had been added via the mods. All the new little areas she went down roads and turned corners in places she didn't understand.
Yeah.
She got completely thrown by some of the stuff that was happening.
I'm just sad you never put the Thomas the Tank engines in.
There are certain things I will not do. And besides, we wanted to make it fantasy. We don't want it. I don't want it stupid fantasy. Same with Fallout. I got the top 100 mods. I don't want to get stupid mods or replace everybody with flying pumpkins or something. I want actual proper mods that you can play and enjoy. So, PC is brilliant as a generic work item, but it's not relaxing when you want to play games.
I suppose to a degree it is a much more intense gaming experience, though.
Whereas a PlayBox, you can flop out on the couch in your underwear, with a cat on your head, and use those bloody carpal tunnel syndrome inducing controllers, and just casually potter around and have fun. Whereas a PC, you're more alert, more awake, and not as comfortable. Therefore, your gaming experience is slightly different.
But now, in the last couple of years, Steam has put together the Steam Streaming, where you can have a very basic little computer, even like, say, your laptop, install Steam on both, interlink them, plug the laptop into your TV screen and plug your controller into the laptop. You then essentially, from the laptop Steam, you stream the game from your desktop. So your desktop does all the processing work, and then it just relays the video output into the laptop, which then is plugged into your TV screen, and you get the same experience.
What? Would it not be easier just to purchase an HDMI cable and stick it in the back of the graphic card on the desktop and off?
Yeah, you could.
That's just so much easier than all this streaming.
Yeah, but the idea of that is if you have your computer and your TV on like opposite ends of the house, then you can buy a cheap little computer that you put with the TV to act as a relay. It's an option that's there. It's not like you have to use it. Like you say,
Yeah,
you could.
it can be easy to run
You
cable.
could just have your tower straight into your
miles
TV to begin
and
with.
miles of outdated coaxial cable. That's how you fix all the world's problems.
Another
Spaghetti
argument
code.
that I often hear is about computers being more expensive than consoles, which is one that always catches me, because the main reason I went to PC gaming is because it was cheaper. I mean, you can buy it in pieces, so you don't have a lump sum payment to make.
Yep.
Then when I buy a game on Steam, it's usually between 50 and 200 rand. An average Xbox PlayStation game
About 600.
some of them go over 1,000.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know where this whole consoles are cheaper thing comes from.
The
I've
actual
never seen
console itself might be cheaper than a computer in the long
Well,
run.
maybe the console versus a fully pre-built computer with a labor charge in.
Yes.
But my thing is, but then if you buy the console, you then have to buy a TV.
Yeah.
Whereas I have a computer already, which has a screen. So for me to just slightly top up the spec of the machine is a lot cheaper than to then on top of that buy a whole TV and a whole console.
Well, I agree. In the long run, it works out cheaper in the games and everything else. Yeah, it's going to work out cheaper. And as far as I'm concerned, a computer and a good graphics card are the equivalent of a bloody plasma screen and a fucking PlayBox. And don't try to counter-argue the point, because if you do, you're a fucking moron. Only morons think that a fucking PlayBox is a superior form of anything.
Why did the console game across the road?
Why?
To render the buildings on the other side.
But actually, yes. Gameplay. That it's popped to my head. Looking back at our session with Adele. Maybe session's not the right word. That just sounds.
That was quite the intimate.
Yes. But when she was here and she played Skyrim with us, watching her play Skyrim, she did it on the PC, but she had the box controller and everything.
Yeah.
Because that's how
she's used to it at home.
Watching her play, I'm sorry, my dear, but it's honest, it was actually quite infuriating watching her play. Because the command ability, the gameplay ability, I found it sluggish. I found the style of gameplay very turgid, very stiff compared to if I had a mouse and a keyboard. You know, look, she played a character that shot bows and arrows. I could shoot faster with bows and arrows with a mouse and a keyboard. I could walk backwards and shoot. I could duck quicker, move faster, take out a sword, swing at a higher rate of attack speed by clicking faster than she could, say, on a controller box, having to push X, Y, W, B, bloody twist this knob to pull this thing. The actual gameplay experience slowed down compared to a computer where you have the old mouse and keyboard. Okay, it's a gaming mouse and keyboard by Ledos, brilliant company, but
and my mouse is Razer, my keyboard is generic something, but
even that, compared to the controller, look at, I played the other week on the computer. We did film it. This is the future past at this point, but the way these shows are,
we haven't done the schedule yet, so we don't know what order stuff publishes.
But I played Jaws Unleashed on my computer with my mouse and keyboard just to get a feel for the game, and I found it a tricky game to play, but I could manage it right with a mouse and a keyboard. Wookiee then played the game with his controller some time afterwards, and his experience was vastly different to what I experienced. I could swim up to a ship, come up slowly, attack the vessel, knock a man off it, grab a person in midair, whatever the case may be, as I played. Whereas you kept swimming into walls and going around in circles.
Yeah.
You missed the target, the mouth wouldn't open, the thing swam backwards, and the camera angle swung around so much this thing looked like it was drowning in its own sick at one stage.
Well, that's the thing. That's why the console versions of games have this whole auto-aim thing.
Yes.
To just adjust stuff to make up for the lack of precision you have.
This is true.
My thing is something like Mortal Kombat.
It's a perfect...
Like Speedrunner. Or a sports game or a racing game. Those sort of things, the control is comfortable and nice to use.
Mortal Kombat in particular, that kind of style, or any of those flat 2D
platformer, arcade, those sort of things, sports. Those are nice for the controller because it's a nice simplified layout of a couple of buttons you need, and you're good to go. But something that, especially anything that uses mouse look.
Yes.
To me, the controller hampers you. So, like most people who know me will know by now my incident with my finger.
He nearly a hamburger tried to kill him.
Yeah.
Only incident in human history of a burger putting a man in hospital.
So, when I'd had my surgeries...
His hand-eye coordination was terrible before that happened. It's just gotten worse.
Yeah.
Well, you're getting it back, but...
Well, I'll get a little bit back, but that's a whole other fight. But when I had the cast on my hand after my surgeries, I couldn't exactly use a mouse because your wrist has to be kept at a 45-degree angle and your fingers at a 90-degree angle so the stitches don't break. So I can't exactly hold the mouse like this.
Well,
insert T-Rex hand for the people who can't see.
Insert T-Rex hand, but I reckon Wookiee could do that.
But I could kind of hold the controller. I just wouldn't be able to push all the buttons on. So when I played in that point, and I actually, at that point, Steam had a sale, not even a sale, a special where I got Metro Lost Light for free.
Yeah.
Another thing, Steam. Steam is why PC wins. But, so the only choice I had was to use the controller.
Yes.
And I know I'm not an expert in this kind of game, but I do love first person, so I've played tons. I just kept walking into a fucking wall. I couldn't line myself up to the door properly with the clunky controls of the looking sticks.
Yes. I think we experienced that with Jaws. Jaws, you couldn't line up. I mean, come on, you got stuck in the wall under the ship. I had to replay that entire thing for you just to get back through to where we wanted to record.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it took what? You were there for about 12 minutes just swimming around in circles trying to eat one thing. And you missed it constantly. And watching Adele play Skyrim and to see how slow she was at drawing the bow, how slow she was at duck, to run, to do all these different movements. Okay, the character was still fresh, it's a new character. But my level 1 character, she moved faster and had more dexterity and more ability with a mouse and keyboard. That slight adjustment I can make with my hand can make all the difference when you're firing something half a mile away and you hit 10 walls and nothing else compared to hitting it in the head first time.
Yeah.
We've seen that sort of thing on playing on the Wii. Remember when that was just Wii Sports? It was a bit of fun.
Yeah. But the Wii was designed for its motion control.
But how often did we get our motion control and we still overshot or undershot because it's still not enough finesse?
Yeah, but the thing is, Wii's controls are not trying to be a direct competitor. Wii is its own experience.
It was a bloody experience. I had to drink 2 whiskeys just to get over that mess. But consoles, the main thing I have issue with is the cost of the video games. But that said, actual PC games seem to be getting more pricey as well. The new releases.
Yeah.
So I remember StarCraft 2. The first one, Wings of Liberty, is still 500 rand. That's about what, $50 or £25 or whatever the hell, depending how the currencies of the world are going.
Yeah.
But it's still that, and that's been 10 years now. It's still at that price. And then when you put the other two on top, you're looking at over 1,000, over $1,000.
Doom 4, 900 rand.
For PC. And Xbox, or one of those?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen its prices on those.
Probably be about much of the same, I think.
Yeah, but like
at this point, the new games
in the back, they have kind of balanced out. Back in the day, an average computer game was what, 200 rand?
Yeah.
An average PlayStation game was 600 rand. So we were ahead the whole way, and now we've kind of fallen behind, and now we're back on par.
And what do you? Next, well, what with the controller? Next gen gaming. Oh, we've now got Oculus. We've now got all these things that we're adding as peripherals to our play boxes or our PCs. I mean, what do you think? Which one's going to come out on top? Oculus running from a PC or through an Xbox?
Well, okay.
That kind of vibe.
I think the HTC Vive trumps the Oculus. Except price. Obviously, the Oculus is cheaper. But the HTC Vive, you get...
We have a recording of you 2 years ago getting a hard-on screaming, I want an Oculus, give me an Oculus. Now you don't want one.
No, well, the Vive didn't exist back then.
How Scottish are we?
The thing is, the Vive, you put little cameras on your wall, and you can actually physically walk around. The Oculus, you have to be in a stationary position.
Yeah, I would put you in that, because if you had to physically walk around, you'd fly out a window the first time an alien jumps at you.
From what I've seen, I mean, I would kill for an HTC Vive, which is about 9,000 rand, so I'm not taking it anytime soon.
Jesus. Yeah. I'd kill for a Nobel Peace Prize.
The Oculus is 500. I mean 5,000.
Still too bloody expensive
Yeah.
to me.
The interesting thing is PlayStation. I don't know the price of it, but the new PlayStation has released the PlayStation VR, which, in line with consoles, has got the thing that it was made for the PlayStation, so you plug it in and it works. Whereas with the Vive and the Oculus and all these things, you know, you have to have the right connector cables, and then you have to install the driver packs and calibrate and all that kind of crap, which you don't have to. So the PlayStation 1 is a much lower quality, from what I've heard, but it's extremely easy to set up and use, and it's much cheaper. So it will come down to the thing of price and simplicity versus quality. And as majority of people who game aren't that technical, the simplicity thing, I think, will take the lead, at least initially.
Simplicity went out. Keep it simple, stupid, as they say.
Yeah. And the PlayStation VR does look more like what you're used to seeing of a VR. It's like real high-tech sort of space helmet-looking thing.
Oh.
Not a mask, just black patch scratch stuck to your face. But, I mean, the cheapest is still what I do, where I stick my phone in a cardboard box. But that is no quality.
Also, you got your face in a cardboard box, and that just looks really dense. Looks like your head trapped in a.
But I must
in
admit,
the cornflakes again.
3D VR porn is amazing.
Good to know for 3D VR porn. I don't think you're saying much else. I think you pretty much summed it up. I think bottom line, if you're
Bottom line, there is no
serious-
answer.
if you're serious about gaming, if you will, first person strategy, that kind of gaming,
Yeah,
then
because
you
those
get-
are just
you-
pathetic on a console.
PC all the way. If you're serious about sports, that kind of things, racing games, then PlayBoxes are for you. If you're interested in casual computerized fun, casual gaming fun, then again you've got PlayBoxes. If you're interested in mods and user-generated content and a more in-depth experience,
And I think also a
then I
console
think
is.
PC.
I also say a console is more social.
Hmm.
If you're having like a braai or some house party or something like that, and you've got a whole bunch of friends over, it's a lot easier to fly up a console, plug 4 controllers into the fucker, and all of you sit on the couch and have a bit of fun.
Right. There was a time when we used to get out one bottle between 4 friends, spin it, and then everyone would have some fun.
Yes, baby.
Now we just give everyone a controller because you don't want to touch girls anymore. Oh God, we've ruined our lives. But I think,
fun.
yeah, bottom line, I think, yeah, it depends on you and what you need.
Yeah, exactly. That's always been my main opinion.
Yeah, there we go. Wookiee was able to make sense of his own argument.